Welcome to the Vendetta Podcast, where we're calling a spade a spade. The WNBA continues to make up lies, continues to drive a false narrative, and now they're trying to get journalists and reporters fired for doing their job. That's right, for asking the hard questions, for being non-biased, for not giving a damn whether I hurt your feelings or not. The WNBA are trying to get those types of journalists fired. Those types of reporters fired. They've been living in their safe space so long. They've been living in their WNBA bubble where everybody is like-minded, that as soon as a new group of fans come in, as soon as mainstream media starts reporting on this, now they have a problem. Now it's like, oh, well, I know we wanted you guys to cover us, but not like this. We only wanted you guys to cover us from the positive lenses. We don't want any of the negative media that comes associated with the WNBA. And with every single turn, you realize this league is a complete sham. It's a complete abomination. And what they're doing, what they are continuously doing, is driving fans away. Folks, I came into this league ready to watch some basketball, and it seems like the discussion is everything but basketball. I came into this league with an open mind. Yeah, I knew they missed layups. I knew they were unathletic. I knew they didn't dunk. I knew they were slower than the NBA. I knew all of these things, but I still sat down and gave the WNBA a chance. I knew what some of these women stand for. I don't care. I sat down and I gave the WNBA a chance. But how much race baiting do people really need to tolerate? How many making up lies do people need to tolerate before they just say, I'm done here? How much nonsense do people need to go through before they just say, I'm done here? And I'm starting to think that has been the WNBA's goal all along. Make up fake storylines, because at the end of the day, man, I haven't used this in a long time. The WNBA is professional wrestling. That's right, folks. At the end of the day, the WNBA is professional wrestling, right? We're just going to make up storylines. We're going to make up themes. And what we're going to do, we're going to wash, rinse, repeat. Wash, rinse, repeat until all the new eyeballs, all the new fans that came and tuned in are no longer here. Because from what I'm seeing, if you have a difference of opinion, if you come at this from an unbiased lens, the WNBA doesn't want you here. The WNBA even went as so far as attacking Christine Brennan. That's right. The journalist for the Indiana Fever, who was the first journalist to cover the Miami Hurricanes, first women's journalist to cover the Miami Hurricanes, first women's beat reporter to cover the Washington Redskins, a trailblazer in women's sports media, yet she's not the type of woman that the WNBA would prefer covering their sport. They would prefer Christine Brennan to ignore her journalistic obligations and paint over the WNBA season with beautiful colors. They want her to take off her natural glasses and put on the rose-petaled goggles. Not gonna happen. The WNBA Players Association, those idiots, even put out a statement going after Christine Brennan, asking her to put away her credentials, asking the USA Today to put away her credentials, and it didn't work as well as you would think. This week was dedicated to celebrating and amplifying Asia, Caitlin, Dejanay, and Nafisa for their hard work and truly exceptional performance all season long. We were not going to distract from their successes, nor will we dim the glow of the spotlight that centered them. They have earned that focus and celebration. But we will do that right now, right? We weren't going to overshadow their awards. We weren't going to dim their lights. But you know what? We're the WNBA. We're a bunch of unprofessional idiots. We're a bunch of unhinged lunatics. And our WNBA Players Association just continues to prove how unhinged, how emotionally imbalanced some of these players are. But we will take this moment now to stand up for them and the rest of our members, every single one of them, because we call BS. To unprofessional members of the media like Christine Brennan, you are not fooling anyone. That so-called interview in the name of journalism was a blatant attempt to bait a professional athlete into participating in a narrative that is false and designed to fuel racist, homophobic, and misogynistic vitriol on social media. You cannot hide behind your tenure. Now, folks, what I've noticed is that people covering the WNBA love to use the word vitriol. How many times did L. Duncan use the vitriol that they're sending Cheryl Swoop's way? You like that? Knock on wood. That's my Vince McMahon voice. I know. Vince McMahon has his own fucking demons, but that's literally the voice that I hear in my mind when L. Duncan, the vitriol headed towards Cheryl Swoop's, right? The so-called interview in the name of journalism was a blatant attempt to bait a professional athlete into participating into a narrative that is false and designed to fuel racist, homophobic, and misogynistic vitriol on social media. You cannot hide behind your tenure. The journalistic attempt in question was asking Dejanay Mustard Carrot Top Carrington about purposefully, because it was purposefully, folks, poking Caitlin Clark in the eye. Oh my God, how dare! How dare she poke Caitlin Clark in the eye? How dare she? Again, folks, these athletes are so used to reporters kissing their ass, are so used to journalists kissing their ass, that as soon as somebody asks them to address the elephant in the room, how dare you? You are a racist. You are a misogynist. You are every name under the book. And at this point, folks, they're just calling us names to call us names. Instead of engaging in actual cordial back and forth, some brain cells just aren't all the way there to have respectful dialogue. So what do? You resort to ad hominem, and that is what the WNBA Players Association does. God damn, the college system has failed these women badly. Instead of demonstrating the cornerstones of journalism ethics like integrity, objectivity, and fundamental commitment to truth, you have chosen to be indecent and downright insincere. You have abused your privileges and do not deserve the credentials issued to you. And you certainly are not entitled to any interviews with members of this union or any other athlete in sport. Those credentials mean that you can ask anything, but they also mean that you know the difference between what you should and should not. Those credentials mean that you can ask anything. End of story. We see you. Relationship with the media is a delicate one that we will continue to strengthen because the media is essential to growing the game. No one knows that better than we do. False, you guys don't know that at all. You haven't grown the game in 25 years. But the players are entitled to better. They are entitled to professionalism. Yeah, Caitlin Clark is entitled to professionalism. I agree with you there. We call on USA Today to review its principles of ethical conduct for newsrooms and to address what we believe is a violation of several core principles, including seeking and reporting the truth. She asked a question, seeking the truth. She followed up, solidified the truth that she was seeking. USA Today Sports should explain why a reporter with clear bias and ulterior motives was assigned to cover the league. We also urge the league to review its policies and take measures to prevent such issues, protecting the integrity of the game and its players. Folks, these lunatics don't want free speech in the WNBA. I hate to go there, but that's where it is. These lunatics don't want outside opinion in the WNBA. These lunatics want to stay in their small little echo chamber so they can throw parties at WNBA games. We'll get to that in a second. These lunatics want no conflicting type of message because it disrupts the narrative, because it shakes things up. If you peek behind the curtain, how dare you peek behind the WNBA curtain? Because what you're about to see is disgusting. We don't want journalists that want to peek behind the curtain. We don't want reporters that are going to peek behind the curtain. We want journalists and reporters that are going to get on their knees and kiss us on our ass. We want journalists that are going to tell us that we are amazing. We want journalists to ignore the elephant in the room. We want journalists to lie to the people. We want journalists to make up nonsense. We want journalists to say how racist these new fans are. We want journalists to do everything but do their job. Fortunately enough for us, USA hasn't taken that wrong turn yet. Journalists, clap back, folks, clap back. First things first, before I get to that, the WNBA Players Association statement, I saw Robin Lundberg say that this is like a clapback in a comment section on this is exactly what this is. This is like a Twitter troll response.
Dear USA Today, I am very mad that you sent an actual journalist to cover the league.
Pathetic. But the USA Today responded within 30 minutes saying, go bleep yourselves. Journalists ask questions and seek truth. At USA Today, our mission is to report in an unbiased manner. We reject the notion that the interview perpetrated any narrative other than to get the player's perspective directly. Christine Brennan is well regarded as an advocate for women and athletes, but first and foremost, she's a journalist. Wow. First and foremost, she's a journalist. Folks, these people want you to see race. They want you to see gender. They want you to literally fall into a certain box. But again, when you are first and foremost a journalist, I don't care about making my girl look good because she's a girl. Don't care. Don't care about making my sister feel good because she's a sister. Don't care. I care about doing my job because first and foremost, I'm a journalist. First and foremost, I have a brain in my head. First and foremost, I'm an independent thinker. Too much groupthink going on in the WNBA. Too much bend the knee to us or we are going to try to strike you down going on in the WNBA. Trust me, folks, remember, I got a video taken down. If anybody knows about it, I know about it. Right? A little bit too much truth in one of those videos, and they're like, oh, take this down. Take this down. I can't even take a drink of my coffee. Take this down. WNBA wants people to kiss their butt to make up lies. And the first lie we're going to address is Brittany Griner. Yes, not the obvious lie in the room. Shame on you guys. Shame on you guys. But we're going to address the lie that new fans are yelling racial slurs. Hey, Brittany, you're a... Folks, do you believe this? Let's take a listen and see how much we are getting lied to. Let's see the script that the WNBA is beginning to roll out.
We're close. We're real close. I know my body feels better. Felt better about the game, but it's not that 2020. No.
How do you feel about what has happened over the past year with the W since you first came in to where it is now? And obviously the game has grown and there's new fans, but how do you appreciate the new fans without all the noise that's come
with them? I appreciate the new fans that sit there and yell racial slurs at myself, my teammates, and the people that I play against. Because those might be opponents, but those are friends too. They don't deserve that. So I don't appreciate the new fans that it's okay to do that. But I do appreciate the new fans that respect the game, that are here to grow our league. Bringing people that may have not ever watched to a WNBA game, so we can grow more fans. I do appreciate them. I appreciate the players that came in, and that are coming in with the spark that they have playing at the level that they're playing at. We need more players coming in ready to put on a show and ready to give a good product, so we can keep growing each year. I'm happy about where the game is now versus when I came into the league.
Brittany Griner said, "I don't appreciate the new fans that sit there and yell racial slurs at myself, my teammates, and the people that I play against." That's not happening, folks. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. I hate to be the truth teller here. But those are just lies. That's not happening. I'm sorry. Folks, if you've ever been to a sporting event, folks, I've been to loads of sporting events, tons of basketball games, tons of baseball games, tons of football games. I've been to soccer games. That Orlando, I've been to, we got the Atlanta United, right? I got DC United right here too. Yeah, even behind me. Yeah, I've been to some places. The amount of racial slurs that I've heard get screamed from the crowd to the field, I can count. Well, I can't count them because I've never heard them. I can't count them because I've never heard them. And fans are much more willing to call male athletes this, that, and the third than female athletes. You guys know that. We gotta be We gotta handle some of the female athletes with kid gloves, right? That's why we grade them on a curve. That's why we're grading the WNBA on a curve. Because we gotta be nice with our words. We need to be very nice with our words. You think that fans are screaming racial slurs at Brittany Griner? Stop it. Lie number one. Yelling slurs at her teammates? Stop it. Lie number two. Yelling slurs at the opposing team? Oh my gosh. Folks, a majority of Indiana Fever fans are 10 years and younger. A majority of Indiana Fever fans are young kids. You're telling me these young kids are yelling slurs? You telling me that these parents are yelling slurs in front of the kids that they just paid $600 to take to a game? No. It's not happening, Brittany. And this is what's going to drive people away, right? Lies. Blatant lies. It's just untrue. It's just untrue. Where is all the video? In today's day and age, every time a fan is acting crazy in the crowd, somebody is saying, "Wow, look at this fan acting crazy behind me." It's not happening. The only one during Phoenix Mercury games that are acting crazy is, wait, you guessed it, Brittany Griner. Shocker. Brittany Griner tried to fight Rickea Jackson because Rickea said, don't put your elbow on my chin. Is it ma'am or... Don't put your elbow on my chin, ma'am. Wait, what'd you call me? And wanted to fight Rickea Jackson. The only lies going on at these WNBA games are these athletes lying to themselves, calling themselves professional athletes. With the exception of a dozen, right? I'm staying true to that dozen word, right? There are a dozen players that can play. And there are 132 others that can play in the backyard somewhere. That can play at a local YMCA. So Brittany Griner, cut it out. But then we have... I'm not even going to try to mimic that face. It's just too funny. Then we have Breanna Stewart. That's right. The same Breanna Stewart who partnered up with Harry Potter, partnered up with J.K. Rowling, and the activists in the league were quiet, right? The activists in the league didn't say anything about that because Breanna's one of them. Breanna's one of them. She bought into the script. Okay, this is what I gotta say, and this is how. All right, I got it. So Breanna Stewart can do all the endorsement deals she wants. Shout out to J.K. Rowling. Shout out to Harry Potter. Wingardium Leviosa. Yeah, shout out to all that. Dumbledore and all of that. But if we're calling a spade here, on a list of things that the WNBA Players Association and the goofball fans, the 46,000 fans that follow this league, if there's anything that they should be speaking up against, it's about that deal, right? That's interesting. Huh. But Breanna Stewart, what did you have to say? Because let me guess, they need to speak up.
It seems like that all of that fanfare and everything is coming from a certain fan base. Do you feel any obligation that those players need to speak up when their names are being used in that kind of fashion, racism and stuff like that? Should players, speak up on that?
Yeah, I mean it's I guess to each his own, but if it was me, I would, and that's really kind of.
Oh, so you got no fans. You got no fans speaking up for you, Breanna. It's okay. It's okay.
The position that I would want to be in, because I want my fans to be inclusive of all and to understand and to realize how hard all of these women are working on the court.
I told you.
And
I told you.
No matter what, whether it's like me and Asia going against each other, or whoever the case may be, like there's a tremendous amount of respect there, and that needs to follow suit with our fans.
It's tough because you can't really control what other people do. I do think if you know it is someone that is your fan, that is maybe like from your hometown, from your city, that it is something that you can kind of maybe use your voice and just try and speak on what's right on a human level, because obviously no matter if it's your fan or not, it's just not right to begin with, like on a human level. And so I think, obviously the players have a big stance on being able to do that when
Okay, folks, Caitlin Clark's spoken up about this a few times. What do you want her to do? She's not going to end racism, you dumbasses. She's not going to solve world hunger by saying, I denounce all Indiana Fever fans who have said something racist. What do you want her to do? You guys are fucking losers. You guys are fucking losers. Holy shit. Oh my God. Sabrina, didn't these fans run you off Twitter? Oh, but we weren't here last year. So, who ran you off Twitter, Sabrina? Who told you to take your ball and go home? I doubt it was the white fans. That doesn't really make too much sense. Wait, Isabel Harrison, didn't you say that people that look like you with your same skin color were calling you some racial name? That's interesting. That's very interesting. Okay, well let's see what the Indiana Fever vets had to say about this. The mature people in the room, right? I'm sure they said something good.
Time after the break, it got better. So the future is very bright for those two.
Dana, then we'll go Scott on the left.
I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on Alyssa Thomas's comments and if you've seen any of that firsthand.
No, what was the comments?
Folks, these two
No, what was the comments?
looking at each other like this, like, man, this dumbass question is really about to be asked. God damn it.
Oh, Alyssa Thomas came out and said that the Fever fan base was racist.
I mean, we can't control what someone else says. Like, for the more
I think that for us, we err on the side of professionalism in a lot of different ways, and we can only control what's in our organization within our people. And that, I mean, personally, we don't condone those kind of things. No matter what color you are, whatever you carry or possess. I think for us, we focus on the basketball part. And I think that she may have had an experience that we may or may not know on her own. But I don't think that, that should be labeled on us 12 or our, who we try to represent for ourselves. And so, I respect her comment and what she has to say, but I don't think it has anything to do with us,
Yeah, and also to piggyback on that, like, we don't condone any of those things. Like, for the more eyes been on us since C got drafted. So for us, our ears been blocked out longer than most people, if that make any sense. So, like I've said a comment before, like, it's a lot of things that try to come in this building and to pull us apart that we just didn't let. However, we probably got it too, we just don't care about it, because what's important is this organization and us winning games, and that's what we did. So, but for the most part, we don't condone that. I don't care about it, because there's a fan who probably sitting on the couch doing nothing, so I don't care.
Wow, what a mature way to handle things. What a mature way. I don't care. It's a random person on Twitter. Why am I putting energy on that? Because you guys are adults. You guys are mature. You guys aren't little brats and babies and wussies and sissies and crybabies. You guys are actually adults. You're not like Alyssa Thomas. Oh my God! At Hair E Balls said something mean to me on Twitter. Oh, yeah. Alyssa, it's a joke. See, it says Harry Balls. It's just a joke fan account, right? Are you a dummy or are you a dummy? Ben, this is what they're talking about. You're calling them names. Am I calling them names or am I just telling the truth? Again, Erica Wheeler, keep the main thing. These women have been keeping the main thing this entire year. Because when you block out the noise, it's easy to focus on basketball. When you block out this person doing this and that person doing that and this troll saying this and this troll saying that, it's easy not to get offended by this stuff. When you put things in its proper perspective, it's easy to not assign blame to a particular fan base. But that's very hard for the WNBA to do. Last things last, we have every time the Fever, we have some loser within the WNBA media saying a bunch of BS, a bunch of baloney, and this is the crux of the argument here. The WNBA wants people who think like them, act like them, and see the world through the same lens. And what we're about to go over in this blurb highlights that exactly. Here we go. Every time the Fever scored, the crowd would erupt, but it didn't feel like fans were rooting for their team. It felt like a threat. There was an ominous feeling in the building. The user goes on to say, I wrote about the atmosphere inside the Mohegan Sun on Wednesday night, including speaking to other fans who felt unsafe at the game. Previously, most games feel like a mini pride party. Last night felt like a MAGA rally. It felt rabid. And this is the looks inside the arena from the other night. These was the scenes. This barbaric atmosphere. This rally that people were attending. Oh my gosh. What a crazy environment here. What a crazy environment. And this is the issue. These people were so happy with every game being a freaking pride event. It's a fucking sporting event. Not a fucking pride event, not a fucking pride rally, a sporting event. That's the issue. They're getting upset that their games are no longer dominated by a certain fan base, by a certain group. The families are now coming to the games. Children are now coming to the games. It no longer feels like a mini pride party. It's a family environment now. It didn't feel like a MAGA rally. I just showed you guys what it looked like in there. It looked like an actual sporting event. And these people are threatened by it. They're threatened that the actual delusion that's been lurking in the league for the last 25 years is slowly getting out of town. Fans that are willing to... Folks, if 4,000 people attended games last year and the stadium can hold 16, that means now 12,000 new fans are watching and they feel threatened. Because not every new fan is going to say, oh wait, if you don't think like me, I don't want you in here. If you don't have the same ideologues as I do, I don't want you in here. If you don't sway the same way I sway, I don't want you in here. Only WNBA losers feel that way. Only WNBA audiences feel that way. It's pretty pathetic. And this is why they're forcing people out. This is why they're making up everything and anything under the sun, because the little parties that they had last year at these games are no longer parties. It's now filled with actual fans, with actual families who want to just come in and enjoy a sporting event. They don't want to be lectured about thinking this way or thinking that way or thinking this way or thinking that way. They want to come in and watch Caitlin Clark ball. And that is what people are scared about. It's the Ben Daniel Podcast. We're calling a spade a spade. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I appreciate all the support. Please like and subscribe. Take it easy.